Hi, today I'm here to talk to you about creative writing. So, back in high school, I had a fun assignment where we would use every letter of the alphabet to write a story. And I actually made a quick example for this, so you guys can get the idea. Abandoned briars consumed dark, eerie, forgotten gardens. Horrific instruments jingled. Keening laments murmured nearby. Ominous pangs quickened, rallying steps towards unknown victims. Waiting, xeric yellowed zombies. So this challenge is something any of you can try, and it encourages problem solving and critical thinking. It also taught me that creative writing doesn't have limits. So, but now, creative writing, what is it? So, it is defined by Scott Wilson of creativewriting.org as any kind of writing that employs creative, literary, or poetic techniques in the service of either fiction or nonfiction writing. It involves original composition and expression of the individual author. So, what that means is creative writing is whatever you, as the writer, decides it is. It's honestly easier to explain what it isn't rather than what it is. So, it is not journalism, technical writing, professional writing, or scholarly writing. But anything else is creative writing. So, creative writing has many different forms. It challenges the imagination, invention, and allows us to encapsulate complex stories, emotions, and experiences. Now that we know what creative writing is, what are the different types of creative writing? So there are 6 different types of creative writing, according to Atmosphere Press. There is exploratory fiction, stream of consciousness, nonlinear narrative, multimedia fiction, dialogue-only writing, and choose your own adventure. So exploratory fiction is letters and diaries and things like that. Stream of consciousness is written in the form of consciousness, so it can jump around a little bit. It's written like you're talking in your head. Nonlinear narrative is events and memories and stuff that are presented out of order, and you kind of jump around and have to piece the puzzle together. Multimedia fiction is a story that includes photos, drawings, text messages, so on and so forth, that allows us to see what the characters see, read what they read, experience what they're experiencing. Dialogue only is a story told only through dialogue, so you kind of have to pick up the subcontext based on how things are said, rather than what is said. Choose your own adventure, pretty self-explanatory. You're given choices, and those choices decide what happens to the characters in the story and how the story ends. And I also provided some examples for each of these on this slide that I am showing you. Well, I'm not showing you, but you'll have to look at it. So now we know what creative writing is and the different forms of creative writing. So what does creative writing do? What is its purpose? So as I stated before, it challenges us creatively, inventively, and it allows us to have different forms of emotional expression, but it also allows for connection and communication. So stories are told all over the world, regardless of time, place, date, or language, and we just, as people, discuss those stories. Shakespeare, like Romeo and Juliet, video games that we see people play online, all of these can be considered forms of creative writing. Like, when you hear your kids talk about FNAF, like Five Nights at Freddy's, the video game, or you and your friends talk about this new book you read, or this show you watched, all of those were forms of creative writing, and now people are talking about them, connecting with each other. It also allows us communication. Like when you read the narrative-only stories, you pick up more on how things are said rather than what exactly is said, which helps us better develop our communication skills by reading and by talking to other people about these things. So now that we know what it is, what its purpose is, and the different types, how do you even start creative writing? So one thing you could do is use that prompt that I used at the beginning of the story, or you could look at the presentation and go online and look up different prompts for each form. Or there's a website, dylandrakes.com/writing prompts, which will give you random things like the occupation, the flaws, the problem, the place, the time of a character, so you can create your own story based on that. So now that we know what it is, the different forms it takes, what it does, and how you can even start creative writing, what's the takeaway from all this? So the takeaway is that creative writing has many different forms, and it inspires us creatively, it inspires critical thinking skills and imagination, and it helps us communicate and connect all over the world. And it's been a huge part of everything we do. And I'm hoping that everybody after this presentation today will find it within themselves to read a new book, write a new story, anything creatively. That's the hope. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for listening.